What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I want to give you guys some quick Atlanta Falcons news, and then I also want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons OTAs and also head coach Arthur Smith. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys who continue to watch the channel, support the channel, continue to share out my content. If you would like to follow your boy on Twitter, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can donate at my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. But I really appreciate each and every one of you guys, as always. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So first off, in Atlanta Falcons news, a couple days ago, this week, the Atlanta Falcons signed Tajae Sharpe. He is a wide receiver. He's about 6'2", 200 pounds. He played with the Minnesota Vikings last season for a couple games, but he also played about 2 or 3 seasons with the Tennessee Titans. So I do think that this is a good signing for our Atlanta Falcons, especially for depth purposes, due to all of the situation currently that's going on with Julio Jones and him possibly being traded. Bringing in another wide receiver is definitely good for team depth at that wide receiver position. Bringing in a guy like Frank Darby in the draft turned out to be a good pick now because Julio Jones doesn't look like he's going to be an Atlanta Falcon going forward. So I do like this signing of Tajae Sharpe. He's a guy that knows Arthur Smith's scheme. So I do believe that he's a great scheme fit. He'll be able to come in and help Arthur Smith teach the new wide receivers the scheme, teach the veteran guys like Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts, Russell Gage, Hayden Hurst. He'll be able to share different nuances with these guys, being that he's played in this Arthur Smith scheme. So I do think that Tajae Sharpe was a good pickup. He's a player that's had a pretty good career as like a 3rd or 4th string wide receiver. He's a guy that can do a lot of different things. The thing that I noticed about him is he's a really long wide receiver at 6'2", and he runs pretty decent routes from what I've seen out of his highlight tape. So I do think that he's a guy that could be maybe a third or 4th option, depending on if Julio Jones is traded or not. But that's pretty much all I've had when it comes to Atlanta Falcons news. Now let's jump into the meat and potatoes of the video. And I want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons OTAs, which took place this week. The veterans were back in the building with the rookies, and they were able to, meet their rookies for the first time in person, meet the new coaching staff in person for the first time, and practice together. I love what I've seen, and I've loved what I'm hearing from the guys that had the media sessions this week. Grady Jarrett talked to the media, Foye Oluokun, AJ Terrell, who's going to be a standout cornerback. He had a pretty good rookie season. He's heading into his 2nd season. So all of those guys talked to the media. Matt Ryan talked to the media this week, and Arthur Smith talked to the media this week. So I love what I'm seeing and hearing coming out of camp, especially from head coach Arthur Smith. He talked about the Julio situation is basically he's going to keep that Julio conversation private, and he's going to keep all of those business transactions and things that go on in the locker room. He said he's going to keep that private, and I think that was the smart decision by Arthur Smith to gain the trust of these players. Being that he's a new head coach, he wants to prove to these players that whatever goes on in that locker room is going to stay in the locker room. He's not going to throw these guys under the bus. He's not going to air out dirty laundry and things of that nature in the media. And I do believe that's the right way to handle business. I do believe Arthur Smith is doing a good job of setting the tone at OTAs. From what I heard this week, he was yelling at the players saying finish during the drills and things of that nature. And that he was really, critiquing players and things of that nature. Definitely, it looks like from what the media has been saying. Kelsey Conway, who's a writer for the Atlanta Falcons, and a lot of the different people that's been at the OTAs, they've been saying that he runs a very tight ship. Arthur Smith, they said the practice looks a lot cleaner than the former regime, and that's really a plus in my book. Arthur Smith also talked about in his media session that he's going to focus on the players that are at camp or at OTAs and mini camp. He wasn't going to focus on the players like Julio who were not, who was not there working with the team. He did mention, though, that Julio Jones was given the schedule for OTAs and he was given a playbook. So that possibly could mean that Julio Jones may not be traded. I do believe at this point, Julio Jones will be traded. That's just my personal opinion. But being that he was given the schedule and given a playbook and things of that nature, stranger things have happened. So I wouldn't write off Julio Jones just yet and say that he's gone. Personally, I don't think it's any coming back from the remarks that were made from Julio unless he goes public and talks to the media and explains why he said he was out of here. But there's still a chance because as long as he's still under contract, you never know. Stranger things have happened. Maybe he talks with Arthur Smith and Arthur Blank and Rich McKay, Terry Fontenot. Maybe they all sit down, have a meeting, and, hash out whatever the problems are. As far as Julio Jones still being in the fold, personally, it doesn't matter to me at this point. I love Julio Jones. I think Julio Jones is one of the greatest players to ever play in the NFL. Definitely, to me, the best wide receiver to ever play in the league. Definitely in the discussion of being the GOAT as far as the wide receiver category goes. And this came out of a mouth of a player like Jerry Rice, who talked about Julio Jones being the most complete wide receiver he's ever seen in the game. So I love Julio Jones. I wish him nothing but the best, whether he's traded or whether he's still here in Atlanta. But I love what I'm hearing about Arthur Smith, him believing that this team can compete. I really believe that this whole Julio Jones situation is going to put a chip on the shoulders of these players and these coaches who are trying to come in and prove that they can create a winning program, especially because Julio Jones came out and stated that he wants to be a part of a winning team and a winning organization. I really think that Matt Ryan is going to have a big season. I do think that a lot of these players are going to take the next step, like a Grady Jarrett, like a Foye Oluokun. He talked about in his media session, the coaches wanted him to be more of a vocal leader on this team, and I do think that a Foye Oluokun definitely could be a leader on this team. He's one of the best defensive players on the team. Him and Deion Jones. I think that we have one of the best linebacking cores in the league. And I really think Foye is going to be one of those guys that could get extended. If Julio Jones is traded, I definitely can see a Foye Oluokun possibly being one of those guys that the Falcons look at signing this offseason, re-signing. So I definitely love what I'm hearing. Foye talked a little bit about Dean Pees' scheme and how guys are going to be blitzing from everywhere. He also talked about he wanted to learn or be the linebacker that this coaching staff wants him to be. So he's trying to basically get rid of the old habits, because when new coaches come in, the new coaches want you to learn their scheme. They want you to learn how to do things their way, their techniques and things of that nature. So he talked about learning the techniques that they want him to learn. And basically he talked about it being an adjustment period. And basically he's going to pick up, whatever they're asking him to do. So I definitely think that the Atlanta Falcons are going to have a big season. I do believe that Arthur Smith has set a firm foundation. He's doing a good job of, making it plain that it's going to be competition at every level, which I think is the right way to go about things. He says it's not going to be any favoritism, that every guy on the team is going to have to earn their playing time. So I definitely think that he's doing a good job so far of holding these players accountable, from the captains down to the last 53rd man on the roster. At this point, I believe we have about 90 guys on the roster. So from 1 to 90, he's keeping all these guys accountable. And I definitely think that OTAs, from what I'm hearing, did go well. And I've seen a couple clips of the guys working and things of that nature. And it looks like they're doing a good job of installing, the new playbook, installing the basics as far as players knowing where to line up, players basically grasping the system and things of that nature, getting to learn these coaches and what these coaches like and dislike is huge for this Atlanta Falcons team going forward. So you guys let me know what you think of the video. But I will have a lot more coming for you guys. I really appreciate you guys continuing to support your boy, continuing to hit that like button, continuing to comment on the channel. If you have a question, definitely leave that comment below. I'll be happy to answer your question, maybe in a video or in the comment section. Also, this coming Wednesday, I will be going live. I do apologize that I had to cancel my first two live videos, the past 2 Wednesdays. This past Wednesday, I actually was under the weather, got my second COVID vaccine, and I was down for the day, down on Wednesday, so I couldn't actually go live. But I expect to be going live every Wednesday going forward. If anything change, I always place it on my community tab for you guys. But I really appreciate each and every one of you guys continuing to bear with me. I expect to go live this Wednesday. We're going to talk about Julio Jones. If Julio Jones is traded, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about if the Falcons can compete and be contenders this season. We're going to talk about that in a live video. And I'm also going to do a Q&A session and take you guys questions. So that'll be Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you guys definitely stay tuned. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button and you enjoy my content, please hit that subscribe button for your boy. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.